day in my life is always very interesting because I do so many things. Typically the day would encompass a lot of things. One of the first things that we do get is we get a lot of donated clothing, and that would either mean and entail for me to go and pick it up from either agencies we work with or some of the manufacturers that provide us with some clothing that is brand new. Secondly, I have volunteers that come in on a fairly irregular basis, and it is in my position I actually oversee them, make sure that they have what they need to do what they need to do, which is sorting the clothing and getting it into all the different categories we sort clothing into. And just making sure that they're comfortable during the time that they're here as well. A lot of our volunteers are senior citizens, and so it's important to make sure that they're taken well care of, because they are our lifeline. They provide us with a lot of work at PSMJax. So, another thing that I would do during the day is to actually do deliveries of clothing. These are orders that will come in from all the numerous agencies that we work with here in Jacksonville and some outside of the Jacksonville region. Basically, taking the clothing to them. For a lot of times I will actually do pickup of clothing there at the same time. And I would also take that time to make sure that all the agencies we work with, whichever one I happen to be with that day, that they're happy, that their needs are being met. And where I don't have what they need, try to see what we could do to help them basically get that as well. On top of that, I kind of look after the facilities here as well and make sure, things like AC filters are changed and things like that. One of the other things is that I would actually take all the orders that come in. So an agency would call me and say, this is the sort of clothing that I want. I would basically go into our inventory system and I would pull those boxes of clothing for them, get it ready for them to either pick it up or for me to deliver in whichever case it might be. I think that pretty much covers for the most part everything that I do. There's always some extra things. There's always things that I'm not aware of that will come up. So there's not a typical day really. Every single day is a little different in what I do and the things that I do. So, but those are things that I would do on a weekly basis, at least once a week. I think one of the things that I do like about my job is that it's not a typical job. So every single day is a little different. So you don't have a set routine for each day. So there's some days that tend to be routine, but a lot of times it's not. For instance, even today I had to pick up some clothing from one of the manufacturers here in Jacksonville that donate clothing to us, and then the day has to be sort of scheduled around that. If we have a big order that comes in, typically once or twice a year we get a big order from somebody in the south, and they actually put together orders for a few different nonprofits in Clay, St. Johns County and Putnam County. And when they come and pick that up, it's 100 plus boxes. It's quite a lot of clothing. So I would basically block out a day for them. But that's the challenge about the fact of what I do, is like nothing is ever the same. There's always something different in each single day. And a lot of times the processes that I'm forming and what I do is processes that I always try to refine to make it easier. As a non-profit, we're always looking to do things as effectively and efficiently as possible for the least amount of money. So to sit down and think about that and just kind of analyze the processes we use all the time is something that is almost the daily part of my routine. So, again, and it's challenging to do that, and it's something that's very enjoyable. So, yeah.